It's been over 75 years ago, first battle I was in. You still have nightmares over 'em.
It's more than just telling. I can relive it. I can see and feel and hear.
It just didn't occur to me the history that we were making.
Know what it's about to be part of a team, to be part of a brotherhood. Because of you guys, we can live in this country free.
Never had the chance like we're taking now to stop and take a look at this.
I've become emotional. Seeing all the crosses out there, each one of them was a human being. He wanted to live too.
They were mostly young men, 18, 19, hardly more than boys. They died on the beaches of Normandy, across France, Germany, and Italy. They never lived to love and marry a woman or feel the joy of a newborn baby in their arms. They never lived to old age, but millions of people did live and live in freedom because of the sacrifices of the American and the Allied fighting man of 75 years ago. The fighting men of the greatest generation. We will never forget them.
A soldier sometimes has to go through things that people don't know about, and a lot of times we don't bother to tell them. Y'all's done something that I would have thought impossible if you'd told me what you was going to do. I'd have said they can't do it. Impossible. I was just coming in on this end up here. My first objection to that lowest gun emplacement.
How does it feel to be here again?
Not like it felt the first time. To think 75 years later, seems like yesterday. Sometimes I still feel like I'm going to wake up and it's not going to be true. I wish it would go away. I wish it'd go away.
Pin drop. Stop moving, gather around. This is really important, okay? Okay, hold on.
Get your ass in the water.
This feels like the old days?
Demons that I had about going back. However, in the past couple of years, I said, at my age, I'm ready for anything.
He hasn't been back in 75 years. I mean, it's pretty amazing today to go into St. Mary Police and see 30,000 people there just to shake your hand, just to say hi. And it's so important that you guys know, after 75 years, we don't forget.
I see that in my mind like it happened yesterday.
We thank you for everything you have done for us. You sacrificed your life to save ours and to give us back our freedom. Thanks to your brave acts, we can walk again on this Norman beach. We owe you more than thanks. You are real heroes.
They came wave after wave, without question, without hesitation, and without complaint. These men ran through the fires of hell.
We come together to honor and remember my comrades who gave their lives in that horrible battle. 400,000 American soldiers who died in World War II. Many of us still hear the artillery barrages, the screams of the wounded, the machine guns and the rifles firing. Not a man among us would want to go through it again, but we are all proud to have been so severely tested and found adequate. The only regret is for all our friends and comrades who never returned.
we come by the thousands. And we come to do business, and we did.
We have 5th Ranger Battalion, Roy Werke.
I'm 93.
93 years old.
And the time will go that fast. Yeah. You're young right now, and one day you're going to look like me. We went to England and crossed the English Channel, but the beach looked like Pearl Harbor, and some of the Rangers got killed, so they needed to replace them. And guess who they got? But that's what I was there for, and we had a job to do, and we did it. They put us on the Sherman tanks for spearheading. That noise was so loud that I went deaf. Could hear nothing. And they were all firing their guns, and I couldn't even hear them. That's how I developed howitzer ears.
This feels like the old days?
Well, not quite. I don't see any 55 howitzers or landing craft. Get your ass in the water. Hey, how about that? I wouldn't do that for anything. If the bad man ever comes again, we're coming back to take care of you.
Sometimes I still feel like I'm going to wake up and it's not going to be true.
On August 2nd, 2020, the world lost another hero. I want to tell you a story about one of the most significant moments of my life. In June 2019, the Best Defense Foundation had the privilege of bringing 16 World War II veterans back to Normandy to celebrate in the 75th commemoration of D-Day. One of those veterans was Private First Class Russell Pickett of Company A of the 116th Infantry Regiment of the 29th Infantry Division. When we first arrived at Omaha Beach, all the veterans got out and were very excited to go onto the beach. We noticed that Russell Pickett didn't necessarily want to get off the bus. He said, "That's not my part of the beach. I want to go where I came in." At the time, we didn't know where that was. So we asked him questions, and we learned more about what happened when he came in.
There's many things you can talk about if you've been in combat, but some things sounds unreal. A soldier sometimes has to go through things that people don't know about, and a lot of times we don't bother to tell them.
So we got some help from a local historian, Paul Wooditch. We told him the stories of exactly what Russell had told us, and we found it. The next night we had planned to take Russell out to that spot. We were going to surprise him, and it almost didn't happen. It was a long day, the sun was about to go down, time was working against us, there was all sorts of barriers in place, there's police everywhere, and all we wanted to do was get this guy back to his spot, because this was our last chance. And this was quite possibly his last chance.
We need a world full of people like you.
We need a world full of people like you, sir.
When we finally got there, you can see it in his eyes. He just takes it in. And all these memories start coming back.
See up the hill there?
Yeah, that's the road that went up we was after, and it seemed like I was just coming in on this end up here.
See, there's a photo from the time, and that square opening there is that one. But below it was a machine gun, and we think that's the one you saw on the sand table.
This was first wave Omaha Beach. These guys were the first people onto that beach, taking the full force of the German attack. His objective was to come in with a flamethrower and take out the bunkers on the beach.
That was my first, and I was supposed to get out, and if I had any fuel left, I was supposed to get that. And
how does it feel to be here again?
Not like it felt the first time, but it makes me feel bad all over, and I couldn't get none of them.
He didn't make it to his objective. He got injured, and he got knocked out.
I don't feel myself a hero. I was going to do what I was trying to do.
He said, "My only regret is that I couldn't save more of my men."
Do you think you could forget that? I wish it'd go away. I wish it'd go away. I'm happy to get to come down here, knowing this is my last trip after all. I love you guys, and we're so proud you work with me so good.
We are so beyond thankful to be here with you in this place.
Maybe it'll leave a little something they can teach children about what kind of wars we was in then.
And that's why we do what we do. We bring these guys back to their battlefields all over the world so they can have this closure. It's such a gift for us to be able to provide these moments for these heroes.
To think 75 years later, seemed like yesterday. Well, y'all's done something I would have thought impossible if you'd told me what you was going to do. I'd have said they can't do it. Impossible.
Russell Pickett helped change the world. He changed my life, and I hope his story inspires you and changes your life as well.
I hope there's never another war like this.
I see trees of green.
When they came, they brought a bill of wrongs.
Red roses too.
They scorched the earth beyond recognition.
I see them bloom for
We came,
me and you.
we thought, and we acted.
I think to myself,
We brought a Bill of Rights.
what a wonderful world.
They sacrificed their lives, come and save us here. It's just very special.
I see skies of blue.
So many smiling faces
Clouds of white.
on our parades.
Bright, blessed day. Dark, sacred night. And I think to myself, oh, what a wonderful world.
Thousands and thousands of people lining the streets.
Colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky, are also on the faces of people going by. I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? When they're really saying is, I love you.
My legs are shaky. I'll likely fall, but next to these men, I feel 10 feet tall. I'm standing here for all the people who ensured my freedom and who fought so I didn't have to. I'm standing here because of you. That should never be forgotten. I thank you from the bottom of my heart, all those who survived and those who did not.
I hear babies cry, I watch them grow. They'll learn much more than I'll ever know. I think to myself, what a wonderful world.
Each and every one of you guys had a direct impact on the liberation of the Dutch people.
I think to myself, oh, what a wonderful world.
At home, we've had freedom since our country was established, and we appreciate it. But I think we also kind of take it for granted. These people do not, and it took me a little while to know how to respond. People kept coming up and saying, thank you for our freedom.
Very emotional. Didn't know where that came from. Love throughout the entire building.
This is my first time back, and I'm having a hard time talking. It's just an emotional thing for me. There's no way to get across to a civilian what happens in combat. When we came here, it was a rush. I had a foxhole somewhere out in there. That's the first artillery I experienced. Yeah. The tension, the stress, the emotion, the fear, the challenge.
Wash over me, let me fall from my surroundings. Take over me, over every rushing memory. If only for a moment. Oh, this could be my last chance.
It's always an honor to visit the American cemeteries and to marvel at the number of men who perished for freedom.
Francis Turner, he's 100.5 years old. He's so full of life. It's just really powerful to hear it from a guy who's lived a complete full life.
Albert Clark was a member of my engineer platoon in the 2nd Armored Division. Albert went to the hospital. He never did come back.
You know, as we pay our respects, I look at our guys, I know what it means for them to come back here and ask myself, is this the last time they're gonna come back?
I see you on to me, and there's no telling what you'll find here.
Love hearing the stories of standing on shoulders of giants.
Buried underneath, if you look any further, then the stones appear. The lines all fade in time. Oh, this could be my last chance.
It was September the 17th, 1944. I was 6 years old. I remember it was a magnificent sight. There was a roar in the air, and all of a sudden, we saw the parachutes coming out. It was so special, so special. We were so glad. I'm so grateful that we were liberated by you. Thank you very, 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 very much.
To the grip of your arms, far from where I know. I wanna see the other side. Show me where to go. Oh, this could be my last chance. This could be my last chance. Oh, this could be my last chance.
We all have our own definitions of peace. May they reign in your heart and burst forth forever.
Freedom is not free. Our freedom could be lost in one generation. Learn to love one another, regardless of race, color, creed, hairstyle, clothes, or whatever. If you learn to love one another, you're not going to fight with one another. Young people, strive to do your very best. Don't be mediocre. Stand out. Set yourself a goal and stick with it. But aim high. You are the future of our country. We are passing on, and we're leaving our legacy to you young people. Remember Pearl Harbor and keep America alert.
One thing I would like to impress upon you, when you listen to all of these veterans talking and telling you what they had to do, remember one thing. We did it for you. We did it for God and country. It was World War. It was World War. Think about this seriously. You are all Americans. A lot of people don't seem to realize one thing that we have. All of us veterans, when we were overseas, we would see the United States flag flying from ships or from camps. We would see that flag and we said, that's home. Too many of the people today, when they look at the American flag, they do not honor it. That flag is America. It's you. When you see that flag flying, and you see it flying in the breeze, I want you to remember one thing. It's not the breeze that's blowing that flag. That flag is flying in the breeze from the last breaths of every American serviceman who loved and died for this country. Honor the country, honor your flag.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the world-famous Rich Wilson Show.
Good afternoon, folks. How are you guys doing today? I want to thank Best Defense Force and Spartan Mode 1994 for the footage and everything that they do to honor the men and women who have served this country and who have died for this country. They're a great organization. And I want to thank them for being able to have that footage for today. Today is the anniversary of D-Day, a day where several thousand soldiers landed on the beaches to make the final push to defeat the Nazi army. And eventually we did. Unfortunately, many did not come home. So we remember this day and remember to give thanks to a generation of people that to this day has never been matched. Never been matched. When they say it was the greatest generation, that's not just hyperbole, it's truth. You know, men and women who never got a chance to experience any of their life other than school, signed up, went overseas to fight an enemy they had never met, to save people that they did not know, and to push back an enemy to keep them from being able to come here, to keep us safe on our shores. Remember, the enemy did not get that far away. Nazi U-boats had been spotted off the coast of the United States. Japan had attacked Pearl Harbor. So without them, without those who stepped up to answer the call, we very well could be speaking another language, or we may not even be free. And remember, to honor their legacy, we must maintain our freedom. Because if we don't, then the hundreds of thousands that laid down their lives died in vain. I, like many of my fans, served this country. Not because we thought it was a cool thing to do, but because we felt like it was our responsibility to help maintain that light of freedom. All of us that go don't want to die. We want to live. But if asked to pay that price, we do so that everyone can enjoy their lives the way that they do. We all had relatives that served in World War II at some point. Some of those relatives came home. Some of us, they did not. And our grandparents and our great-grandparents tell us stories about what happened. Or maybe our granduncles, our grandaunts, our grandmothers. And we make sure that we keep that in our hearts. And we spread that message so that nobody forgets. On this day in 1944, again, several thousand soldiers marched onto a beach facing certain death to stop evil. So that people may be free. So remember that today. I want to thank you all for being a part of the show. And no, that's not the end of the show. That's the opening of the show. But we do have another topic to talk about tonight. And it was something I've been doing some research on for the last couple days. And it goes right along with the show slogan. The show slogan is to stop fake hate. And I've been doing some research on something that I just thought that something seemed a little off. Now notice that on your social media feeds, as of the last couple weeks, it's all been about guns. We must ban assault weapons. 18-year-olds can't, 18-year-olds not responsible enough to own assault weapons, and it's assault this weapons and assault that, and you can't own a cannon, which I've already told you is absolutely inaccurate. You can own a cannon. In fact, I know a man that owns a cannon. He legitimately owns a cannon. I know a couple other people that own, well, actually, I know a couple people that own cannons, actually, and it's not illegal for them to own it. It never was. But you see this. But what was social media filled with before Uvalde, right? What was social media filled with before Uvalde? I believe it was everybody hated Ron DeSantis and the bill they passed in Florida. And, oh my God, Elon Musk is going to take away free speech by buying Twitter. And that went on for a while. And what was before that? So I want to introduce you to some people. These are, when everybody talks about how, oh, Uvalde was so horrible, and it is. It's very horrible. And now we want to ban assault rifles. You want to pass all these laws and say we must prevent this. The pictures of the children that you're seeing on your screen were caught in the crossfire. Gang violence, street crime. And these pictures are just over the last 2 years. And this isn't all of them. Some of these pictures are from one weekend. The one that's up there right now. The last picture in the cycle before it goes back to this poor girl right here was on one weekend in one city. Every one of the cases involved guns that were illegally obtained. So no law that you pass, no new law out of the 60,000 that already exists, you pass would have prevented these deaths. See, you go after the easy thing. Well, we need this. And trust me, I am all for closing background check loopholes. I'm all for hard enforcement and strict red flag laws. And I'm all for holding law enforcement culpable if they do not enforce red flag laws. I'm for these things that you suggest, but they won't stop that. Adding 1 million more gun laws to the 60,000 that already exist and the 40,000 of those that aren't even enforced anymore. That one with all the kids in that shot, okay, that happened last year. What was everybody worried about last year when this happened? The anniversary of January 6th. Where was the outrage all over social media about how we have to do something about this? Instead, Facebook was filled with, oh, January 6th this, January 6th that. One person was killed, was murdered during January 6th. One person. By an overzealous security officer who never got into trouble for what they did. You're right. Also, masks. You got to get the shot. Masks. Oh my God. Right? Where was this outrage all over social media about this? Where was it? It didn't exist. And do you know why it didn't exist? Do you know why social media, Twitter, Facebook, all of them was not filled up with the images of these faces and how we need to stop crime in the inner cities? Because they weren't told to hate it. Look at it. Look at when everybody got mad at Elon Musk because he was buying Twitter. It happens right after the press goes nuts about how evil Elon Musk is and how he's going to take away your freedom of speech. You can watch it on the major networks and on the on the websites for the news articles. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, everybody hates Elon Musk. Memes filled the skies. Kids are getting murdered. Where was the outrage? Last year, the anniversary of January 6th, oh my God, it could happen again, where your country was almost overthrown by a bunch of redneck white supremacists. And for days on end, leading up and after, that's all we heard about. But on one weekend during that hysterical, overreacted problem that you were told to overreact to, 28 kids lost their lives that weekend in Detroit, Chicago, Los Angeles, New York City, Baltimore. Where was the outrage then? I didn't see stop the violence. I didn't see stop killing kids hashtags, trending. I saw stop Elon Musk. Elon Musk hates us. Hashtags like that. 2 years ago, in 2020, it was all about how the horrible orange man was trying to overthrow the country and take away all of our freedoms. He was this horrible human being. Because the media told you this. But nobody talked about this. And what else? What else? Oh, it was so horrible that a guy that had an AR-15 was at a riot and was attacked. And he shot 3 people because they attacked him. And the court ruled that way. And there was riots in the streets, and it was so horrible. These kids were dying. Because you were told to do that. You were told to hate. You are being led like sheep. Because right now, it's all about assault weapons, and 18-year-olds shouldn't be able to buy assault weapons. They're not responsible enough to handle them. And it's this, and it's that, and it's this, until the next big thing happens. How much coverage did the Oklahoma City shooting get that just happened? A couple days and it's gone. Meanwhile, same weekend, last weekend? Same weekend. 19 kids lost their lives in shootings in the inner cities. 19. But they're not telling you to get angry. What I don't understand is, why is not the fight right now to try and figure out why the number one death of 2-year-olds through 25-year-old black males is street violence with guns? Why is it that? By the way, 75 Lurch, if the comment fake news network is Fox News, yeah, well, CNN didn't tell you either. Neither did MSNBC. Neither did Headline News. Neither did The View. Neither did any of them. Oh, yeah, Fox News and all them. Where's the outrage? We're going to talk about taking away guns from everybody. We got a president that sits there and mumbles and bumbles his way through. Doesn't make any sense. Tells everybody we're going to do something. And then today he came out and said there's nothing he could do. You got people willing to take away rights, but it still doesn't solve the problem. You could pass all the gun laws you want. It still doesn't solve the problem. Why? We still had violence in our streets even when they banned assault weapons in the 90s. I told you guys last week, that yes, assault weapon shootings were down. And they were. They were actually going down before the assault weapons ban. They still continue to go down afterwards. Okay, I got you. I just wanted to make sure. But the thing is, but what tripled during that time? Illegally obtained handguns and manufactured non-serial numbered handguns rise. Ghost guns are not new, folks. They keep making these comments about ghost guns like it's the new thing. It's not. Ghost guns been around for a while. Okay? Garage-built guns that half the time don't work, sometimes kills the person that's using it. Okay? They've just gotten better at making them over the years. So again, your gun laws are not going to stop this. Because these children died with illegally obtained firearms. Firearms that were already illegal. And in case somebody decides to come out and go, well, it's because people didn't leave their guns secured, blah, 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 blah. Okay. A lot of these guns are getting shipped in from outside of the country. A lot of these guns are circulating from armed robberies, murders, stuff like that, where they've taken people's guns. What we want is a voice that's not censored, a media that's not propaganda. The funny thing is, what I'm trying to figure out is when was the last time even some of the independent groups ran a story like this. Where was their outrage over it? You don't see it. I like I said, I've been slowly working on this. You know how hard it was to come up with the information for this? It is so buried, it's insane. It's so insanely buried. When everybody was so worried about one of the weekends when everybody was so focused on the Johnny Depp trial. Okay? In Detroit alone, one weekend during the Johnny Depp trial, in Detroit alone, 12 children lost their lives. It was hashtag believe him, or hashtag believe her, or hashtag fight Johnny fight. All these people who are these social media warriors, nowhere on their pages until Uvalde happens. Did you ever notice that? Uvalde happens. Oh, it's everywhere. The Newtown shooting. We must stop assault weapons and blah, 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 all over the place. It's the same argument. It's just rehashed, but only when there's a big event. Illegal weapons trafficking is a multi-billion-dollar a year industry. It is. And when we say multi-billion, we're not talking 1 or 2, or we're not talking about 2 or 3 billion as a multi-billion. We're talking about in the tens of billions of dollars in that market. And these children lose their lives because of that. And the bad part is, some of these guns that they're finding out on the streets were even put there by our own government. Maybe not there, maybe involved in some other things, but guess what? They circulate around. A gun that was used in an incident that killed 9 people in Arizona was a gun that was put across the border thanks to Fast and Furious. People don't look any further than social media for their news. Maybe next good step is to get rid of social media and go back to going back to socialization. I don't disagree. I think I've told you guys before, I'll say it again. I think Facebook and Twitter and all of that was the best and worst invention in the history of this earth. It has such great promise to do such great things, but it's turned and been twisted into such horrible, horrible acts. People use it as a weapon against other people. People have killed themselves because of crap that was said on it. But once again, like I said, the outrage is fake. It's absolutely fake. And I'm going to start calling people on it when they go, we need to stop this. You're fake. I'm not fake. I really believe this. Really? Then July of last summer, where was your outrage when 38 kids lost their lives between 4 major cities over a weekend? Where was the outrage then? In fact, we'll even go back a little bit further. Okay, May of 2021, right? Because we talk about it's so horrible that 19 kids, it's so many kids, right? In one night. 22 children lost their lives. Where was the hashtag, ban whatever gun you want to ban then? Where was that at? It wasn't. There's no mention of it. No discussion of it. I'm pretty sure that they're going to throttle this show tonight because I'm talking about the very thing that evidently doesn't seem to be a thing, even though it is. I don't doubt that. Let me catch up. I got comments going on over here too. All right, give me a second. Sorry about that, Rathalos. Rathalos. My heart aches for all these kids. I agree with you, brother. Where is the rage for these people? Here's another question. Skip the gun part. How many people have to die to knives? Yeah, that's something else I'm going to talk to you about here in a second. People who make these comments, here's my comment. Then stand up and do something. And you want to talk about knives? It's like, oh, well, we'll get rid of all the guns. That'll fix it. New York City alone has seen an increase of 98% in stabbings and murders using knives. 95% increase. Am I picking out certain cities? I am. Why? Because they set the standard for death. Chicago. Stabbings up 87%. Now, what's the big commonality between all these major cities? Oh, by the way, in Cincinnati is working its way to catch up. It really is. So what's the commonality in these cities? Light on crime, judicial systems. New York has some of the strictest gun laws in the United States of America. And they have some of the strictest knife laws in America. Detroit, strictest gun laws in America. Chicago, some of the strictest gun laws in America. Los Angeles. D.C. comes up real close behind them. Baltimore. All these cities have immense amount of laws restricting this very thing. They don't work. Criminals don't care. That's why they're a criminal. They don't care about the law. We're going to pass more laws. Okay, cool. You get to add some more felonies to their record. That's all you've done. Dean told me, and I verified, over 60,000 gun laws exist in the United States of America today. 11% of them based on, and this is just my numbers, and I could be a little bit off. Based on my numbers of based on convictions of those gun laws, only 11% of them are enforced. Okay. Soft on crime. State judicial systems. Well, hell, look at Seattle. Seattle's not only trying to catch Chicago and Detroit, they're trying to surpass them. Okay? Do you know how many times now when cops turn on their lights to pull somebody over for doing something stupid? Do you know you know what the percentage now out of all the times they pull them over, the person stops now? This report came out this morning. 4%. 4% actually stop. So that's 96% don't stop. They've pretty much made everything but murdering somebody illegal. They no longer prosecute rape or sexual offenses. Literally almost the only thing left in Seattle is murder still illegal. But hell, if you try to kill somebody in Washington State, they're not going to go after you. Shit, I found out all you got to do is take off. They got better things to do. Hate, rage, no love, revenge, and other emotions. Yeah. Zion Brand, watch the thing on stats since the 60s. It's not the first defend movement. Every time massive crime spikes after have had enough, it swings back. The thing is one of the main points about what I'm talking about tonight is watching these people post this stuff on their social media like they give a damn. They don't. They're being led around by sheep herders called the media. Okay, and they're being told... Who's it? Oh, good Lord. They're being told, what to hate. They're being told, here's your arguments for you. It's being hand-fed to them. I'm catching some of my arguments with like 15 or 20 other people that it's verbatim. And it's like, oh yeah, y'all are drinking from the same fountain because y'all are saying the exact same thing. No, I thought of this myself. No, you didn't. Everybody's so worried about fact-checking somebody. When somebody else besides myself and a couple other people going to call the president on the fact he keeps saying, well, the Second Amendment isn't absolute. Yes, it is. You can't buy weapons of war like cannons. Yes, you can. That's the kind of fake rhetoric that drives this crap. And the bad part is even he's getting it from somebody else because Joe only has 3 brain cells left. One of them went on vacation and the other 2 left to go find him. All the laws are on the books. Just one reason for another prevents cops from enforcing them. You know how everybody was chanting the defund police. And then when people started calling going, no, then what do? They just restrict the crap out of them. So we're not going to defund you. We're not defunding the police. Oh yeah, we're going to support the police by restricting them even further. So they can't do their job anyway. And there's a reason for that. So then they come back, and when they see that arrests and all these other things are down, then the states and all of those can come back and go, well, we don't know why we're giving you money. You're not doing your job. But once again, like I said, it's all fake. Every bit of it. When you go down your Facebook feed, anybody on there that's got all this anti-gun stuff on there now, scroll back in their timeline 6 months and see what they were complaining about. See if they made any mention about any of these incidents. I guarantee you they won't. They didn't. And if they did, my God, they're actually genuine. All right, Dean, I'll catch you later. Thanks for watching the show, buddy. But I'm dead serious. These people are fake. They get on Facebook, they get on social media, talk about how all angry they are when they're not. Because guess what? Tomorrow, somebody will do something stupid. It'll be the new scandal, the new white supremacist, the new this, the new that. And that's all we'll talk about for months on end is this. And the people hardest hit most don't want to defend. And the ones who do say, well, at this point, they don't do anything. What's the point? And that's the sad reality. Some people have just given up. Because nobody's doing anything about this. So a lot of those cities, they just give up. I'm dead serious. They just give up. Why keep fighting? You only care about if a guy goes shoots a bunch of people at one time. And he's one guy, and you can play the blame game on him. Okay? But if you can't play the blame game on him, it disappears. Like, we ain't talking about the Oklahoma guy. We ain't, do you notice the Uvalde thing? Everybody was talking about all this with the shooter and stuff like that. And then as soon as they found out he did not match the demographics of a white supremacist, guy, they shifted. They shifted the focus it's all the white conservative people caused this. We stopped even talking about the gunman. It became the white conservative, white supremacist people that are the reason why these kids are dead. Because once again, we can't blame the person who actually did it unless because notice the Buffalo shooter, oh, well, yeah, it's the gun and the guy who did it. Why? He's a white supremacist. So we could blame him, but we can't blame this guy. He's not a white supremacist. He's not a white conservative, so we can't blame him. He doesn't fit our demographics, so we're going to talk about how it's everybody else's fault. Look at the guy who drove the Ford Escape through the crowd during Christmas and killed those people. They didn't report who did it. All the news was a red SUV drove through a crowd of people and killed a bunch of people. Last time I checked, we still don't have the ability to pick up our phone and call our car to come get us. Somebody's got to get in it. Even a Tesla, even if you don't got to drive it, you still got to get in it. And then this. And these kids dying. There's a reason why they can't talk about it. Because people, yeah, that same thing. How about the New York City mass shooter? They didn't talk about him much, did they? The California mass stabbing, didn't talk much about him. Because it doesn't fit, the individual that perpetrated the crime doesn't fit the individual. That tells you how fake this is. That tells you how fake this is. Because if the individuals committing the crimes do not fit the agenda or narrative that they are trying to push, they don't talk about it. Because they worry that you'll actually wake up and see it. You'll see what's really going on. Oh, don't worry about your phone auto-correcting your stuff. That's why, just next time, look at the coverage. Look at how much coverage something gets. Yeah, anybody heard anything about Nancy Pelosi, his husband, and him breaking the law? That's gone. Thank you, Rathalos, for reminding me of that. Like I said, if it doesn't fit an agenda, it doesn't get covered. So because something fits an agenda, just look at your social media. Look at how it flows. Look at what things people are talking about, especially the fake people. The fake people pushing a narrative because they're being told to push it. And you literally are. And when they say, well, no, I came up with this on my own. No, you didn't, because there's 9,000 other people said the exact words you did verbatim in the last 5 minutes. You didn't come up with it on your own. That's the problem that we have with society. That's part of the problem that we're having that's causing these things is until you're told to do so, you don't. The real question is, what do we do about it? Can ratings so low, advertisers will be gone, but they're not? Well, CNN's still running. I don't understand that. Sanford and Sons on Nick at Night got higher ratings than CNN did this past week. But they're still going. But the thing is it doesn't. People will not be outraged till they're told to be outraged. Dollar signs, money. And then, like I said, the next thing, and then the next thing you know, Whoopi Goldberg will be on The View, or Brian Seltzer will put down the buffet fork and tell you the next thing to be upset about, or Don Lemon or whoever. And then everybody will be upset all over again. And oh, it's a new thing. And oh. Meanwhile, these children just keep dying. You want to talk about doing something about guns? Okay. What is it? Because the 60,000 laws we pass ain't stopping this. Look, it's not. None of those kids, by the way, as far as I could find, were shot with an assault rifle. None of them. So what do we do about it? You keep asking about what we do about it. Fight back. Start looking for the stories that they're not talking about. Start putting those stories out. Start going after the information that's being conveniently put to the rear. The moment they come up with the next big thing that everybody in the world is talking about how horrible it is, go start doing some research and find out other things that are going on. I know it might help, but I can't say it on Facebook. Well, you could private message me what you want, what might help. How about we give all the parents in these neighborhoods guns, self-defense classes, neighborhood watch classes? Here's an idea. Here's an idea. Why doesn't... What we need to find out why the black community used to, and no longer, used to be about real unity. Used to be about coming together and being strong and standing up against this kind of stuff. Community policing. Real community action groups. You know, those kind of, well, the reason why you have to have posted gun-free zones is because of lawyers. Find out why that an entire race of people... Okay, yeah, I could understand why that kind of would have maybe, but here's an idea. How about enforcing the laws and stiffening the penalties for people in possession, caught in possession with illegal firearms? If you're involved in a shooting that kills somebody and you have a legal weapon, it should automatically be listed as a capital offense. You should be executed. Make it simple. You illegally obtained a firearm. You killed a human being. You will now die. Why don't we just go back to murder? Legitimate murder is a capital crime. Why don't you make people actually fear the punishment? Because right now they laugh at your face. A guy who literally shot and killed somebody in the state of New York, or in the city of New York, right? This happened a couple months ago. I can't remember the name off the top of my head, but I remember doing a story on it. Shot and killed somebody. Was arrested. Bail was released without bail with a note stating that he would attend trial. Killed 2 more people after he got let out. How about armed citizens shoot back, defend themselves? Crime always low in those neighborhoods. Turn around and legitimately say that you cannot prevent people from owning a firearm. It is their Second Amendment right, as long as they're not a felon, as long as they don't fail a red, they're not captured by the red flag rules. And then it'll tell people, look, guy pulls a gun on you, shoot him. It's like that one guy that one sheriff that I found that somebody shared the video, where they shot at a person that broke into their home. Evidently, they missed. The sheriff advised them that, hey, I want you to come down on every other Saturday. We have a gun safety course, And we'll show you how to shoot properly so next time you won't miss. That way you save the taxpayers money. We need to really take a long look at if your neighborhood ain't one and you can't move there. Move. There is 11 million open jobs. Yeah. There's job openings everywhere, folks. Don't let them say, well, there's no jobs. I can't move. There are jobs. Sometimes it may not be the job you want, but if your area is unsafe and you want to go somewhere else where it is safe because people actually know how the hell to run the place, move. Now, I know right now the cost of fuel is really expensive and it'll be difficult. But if you want to be safe, get away from these places. Seriously. Like I said, there's ways to fix this. There's ways. Stand up, fight back. Actually get educated. Stop believing everything you see on what people post on Facebook. Stop believing everything the news puts out. Go do research on your own. The internet still does work. Sometimes the real shit may be hard to find, but it's out there. It took me a while, but I found it. Do your due diligence. Promote neighborhood policing. Go talk with your neighbors. Hell, if everybody would just get to know their damn neighbors, we could solve a lot of these damn problems because then we would know each other. How many times somebody shoot up something and the neighbor's like, I didn't know about him at all. He just kind of kept to himself. That's because people don't get to know their neighbors anymore. I know my neighbors on both sides. Cool dudes. Really are. Now, I'm not from here. I know I met their wives. I met their pets. I know who they are. And I know we got each other back if crap hits the fan. How about quit yelling for everyone else to solve the problem and do what you can to solve the problem? That's a good start. Stop screaming, we need to do this. You do it. That's a good start. Get to know your neighbors. Talk to your neighbors about community policing. You guys handle yourself. Walk around your neighborhood. Get to know things. I know we live on a damn safe neighborhood, or safe street here. Because your neighbor might be scary according to the news. Maybe, but you don't know until you get to meet them. That way you're not that guy in the news. Well, I didn't know anything about my neighbor. I didn't know he kept to himself. Maybe your neighbor just keeps to himself because nobody ever gives him 5 minutes to say hi and act like they give a damn. We went through 2 years of some pretty crappy stuff, and a lot of people got isolated. And a lot of people felt alone. Maybe it's time we got out and started talking to people again. Maybe it's time we got out and had community barbecues like we used to. Maybe we should get to know everybody on the street. Maybe you should get to know everybody in your building. Organize if you live in an apartment building, organize an apartment building get-together. Do something. Do something. Doing nothing and screaming at other people to fix the problem won't fix the problem, because guess what they do? When you scream to somebody else to fix a problem, then they scream to the next person and the next person. Before too long, somebody's screaming at you because it made it the whole way around. But what if my neighbor is woke or white supremacist, or maybe are you scared, just... There's ways to find out. It doesn't hurt to go knock on the door and say, hi, I'm your neighbor. I just came to say hi, introduce myself, and see if there's anything you needed. If there's anything I can help with. If they slam the door in your face, well, fuck them. Sorry. I went this whole show without using profanity until right then and there. trying to do a little bit better cleaning up the show a little bit. But do what you can. You know, as an individual, you know, you can volunteer to do ride-alongs with the cops. You could do things with law enforcement. Like all these people complain about law enforcement, how horrible they are. And I asked them, said, when was the last time you did a ride-along with local law enforcement? Well, never, but they're horrible people. Because you don't know them. You got told they're horrible people. You get told these fake statistics about how more black people are killed by... cops kill more black people than they do anybody else, which is factually inaccurate. That's why you believe that bullshit. Sorry, did it again. It's contagious. When you go look at the Department of Justice's own numbers, the FBI's own numbers, it shoots down that same crap. It shows you it's a lie. My neighbors in D.C. were scared when I said hi to them. Tells you something. I broke some of them. Hey, remember when I was there for a while? I had a bunch of them look at me weird when I'd say good morning to them every morning. Eventually, I had a couple of them, and what did we have? We had one lady at the end. She walked up to me and said, I saw you guys were moving. I was like, yes, I'm so sad to see you go. And I was like, why? She goes, you know, all this time I've been going to work, and I really don't like going, and I don't look forward to the day. And then you were out here early in the morning because, you know, my significant other didn't wake up early. And I'm out there, and I said good morning to her every single morning. And she goes, I'm sad to see you gone. I could come out, you'd say good morning, and it made me smile, and it was the one positive thing I could look at before I started my day. I made a change in somebody's life, and I didn't even know I made a change in their life. You can do the same thing, and if we started doing that, a lot of this would start changing. It's like that one petty officer said, maybe we stop hating and fighting each other all the time, and we learn to love each other regardless of who we are. Then maybe evil will finally stop losing power, and maybe the good will triumph. Who knows? It's like the joke I made to my significant other this weekend. What if the reason why God doesn't show us that he's here is because he's actually scared of his creation? Because of how evil we've become to each other. And if you don't think we're evil to each other, just take a look at social media. Just scroll long enough. Some of the just absolute vitriol that's spewed towards each other is saddening and makes you wonder, should we really save this place? Well, I believe we should. I really believe we should. But folks, that's it for the show tonight. Just remember, #StopFakeHate. Buy a t-shirt, thericwilsonshow.com. Helps support the show, helps keep us going. I hope you guys enjoyed tonight's show. I hope tonight's show was at least thought-provoking. I really do. I hope you guys enjoyed the tribute at the beginning of the show. If you want other people to hear this message, make sure you share this show. Put it out there on your pages. Share the links. Say, look, this guy talked about what you're going on about. You should really give him a listen. Maybe together we can do something about this. Anyway, folks, you guys have yourselves a wonderful night. And we'll catch you here tomorrow night. All right. For everybody here at the world famous Rich Wilson Show, I'm Rich Wilson. Have yourselves a good night. Goodbye.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.